One of the most misunderstood aspects of self-defense is the initiation of the actual attack doesn't have to be from the person that started the fight in the first place. In this week's reality check, we're going to look at a guy that takes the initiative, ends up definitely coming out on top. And we're going to see what lessons we can extract from this and how we can fold them into your own practice. Let's take a look at this week's reality check.
I knew that was coming. Oh, there's all over.
So as you can see from the video, we have a gentleman who's sat on a subway. Now, one of the things that instantly comes here is you ain't getting away from this. When you're in a small, cramped area and a confined space, especially if that space is moving, you're not really going to have the chance to withdraw and retreat from a given situation. Sure, if someone's causing an issue being loud and obnoxious, you can move to one end of that particular carriage and get away from them. But if there's an issue going on, normally what you do is either transfer that to someone else or that issue will follow you. In this instance, we don't see what went on before. That's always important to remember because nothing ever exists in a vacuum. But all we can do is act on the video as it presents itself. What we have here is two gentlemen sat next to each other, a little bit of man-spreading expansion going on, but nothing too severe. One of them decides he's going to get up and start to take exception with what transpired earlier. One of the things that you'll notice here is the gentleman that still remains seated knows this is going to go down. Right from the beginning, look at how he's staring. He's not at the person, but he knows damn well what's going on in his peripheral vision, and he's put it there for a reason. As the man stands up, you'll notice he then switches to putting things inside his jacket, saying, "Sit down, man. Sit down, man." He's trying to end this before it starts by offering an opportunity to walk away from a given situation. But you can tell he's prepared for this to go south. To be honest, it's probably already got that way. But he's allowing every opportunity for this person to walk away. When the individual doesn't take advantage of the opportunity to end the situation before it even starts, the gentleman takes action, and he takes quick and decisive action. It's worth looking at this in a little bit of detail purely from a mechanical perspective. Note, as soon as he arises and the other gentleman starts to close that distance down, he turns off to the side, immobilizes the arm, and delivers a single strike heavy to the face. The more stylistically inclined amongst you may recognize this as trapping, hand immobilization, as we call it within the Jeet Kune Do community. You find this in Wing Chun, you find this obviously in Jeet Kune Do, you find it in Filipino martial arts. Pretty much every martial art has a variation of keeping one hand out the way and putting a shot over the top. But let's look at what it really is. Hold the hand, clean shot, and it works. When you talk about things like trapping, it's a very spectacular art to look at. You see the demos, you see the techniques, but you very often don't see it manifested in reality. Unfortunately, the drilling that people do behind these kind of techniques doesn't allow it to manifest itself in reality. But when you know what you're doing and you make that decision to go, this is what trapping looks like. How many of you watching this video consider that a bit of an overreaction? Be honest with me now. First watching, what are your thoughts? Now, some of you probably picked up on where I'm going to go next. If you did, good on you. If you didn't, no harm, no foul. This is one of the beauties of these reality checks. It's one of the beauties of being able to watch videos over and over and over again. How many of you saw the scissors? Because when the gentleman stands up and when he's arguing, you'll see he goes straight to his pockets and he starts fumbling around. When those scissors come out, boom, that's when the decisiveness comes in and he takes the action that's necessary to end it. Notice he doesn't go any further than that. Once he knows the guy's out, he backs off. This is a chap that I suspect has thrown a knuckle or two in his time. It kicks in clean, and he then steps away as soon as it's done. The reason I draw attention to the scissors piece is, what people miss are these cues. We saw in the reality check I did a few weeks ago the unfortunate and tragic circumstances of someone losing his life as a basis of missing a little cue like that. These scissors could have gone in just as bad. Anytime you're speaking with someone and there's potential conflict going on, it's not just what they're saying that you need to listen to. It's the tone, sure. It's what they're arguing about, absolutely. But their body will tell the story of what they're doing. The pacing, the way they look down, the way they fumble with things in their pockets, these are all very, very good indicators that they're planning on doing something or looking for something to do something with. Anytime someone's in their pocket fumbling while they're talking to you, this is not a normal behavior. You need to be wary of that and either create distance or, in this case, take advantage of the proximity. This is one of the other great unwritten rules of combat. Absolute proximity or absolute distance. If you're hovering around in the middle, it becomes what we call a mutual exchange. You're in as much danger of being hit as the other person is. And all it takes is one person to get lucky. If you can get all the way out of a situation, you remove the danger. If you jam all the way in, you can isolate the danger. If you're in the middle, slightly less hard to do that. What we see here is a decisive action taken by someone who recognizes a threat is going to go on. He establishes himself in a position where he can respond to that threat, and as soon as it hits what he determines to be a threshold, he takes that action. Notice his language is firm. He doesn't use the profanity at the beginning. He's just telling the guy to sit down calmly. But while he's telling him that, he's doing the preparatory steps. So when people listen to the words from the attacker and they ignore the body signs, that's a bad thing. But we can use that to our advantage, as we see here. He keeps the guy distracted. He keeps talking to him, all the while physically preparing himself to go into action. And what action he takes. One and done. Clean as a whistle, trapping in a real street fight. For those that consider that rarer than Bigfoot, here you go. Thank you for joining us on Reality Check this week, guys. It was an interesting one, I'm sure you agree. There's so much more you can always get from these videos. Please feel free to pass on any observations you've seen, any comments, any concerns. Please share them in the comments. We do enjoy reading them and we do enjoy conversing with you. Big thank you to the Budo brothers again for filming and sponsoring this. I urge you to go to their website, budobrothers.com. They have got some lovely new stuff coming out. And once again, I draw your attention to their wonderful padded sticks. Great for training with, great for sparring with, and just fun for hitting your friends, family, relatives with in a nice combative setting where you want to get good without hurting them too much. As always, I can be found on Instagram at HavocHound. I can be found on Twitter at AftermathMatic, and of course on Facebook at Aftermath, the fight after the fight. Links are all in the video below. Thank you for joining us, guys. We'll see you next time.